gentlemen, thank you for coming to the monthly North End Public Safety Meeting. My name is David Marks. I'm on the North End Waterfront Neighborhood Council. For those of you who may not know me, I am the Public Safety Committee Chair. The committee consists of one person.
One very good.
Thank you. We are all very important. Chucky Wilson, Michael Bond, Sergeant Sheehan, Mr. Rich Grealish, Teddy Wilson. Let's get started.
Okay, so I'll go over as usual some of the stats, the crime stats, and some of the incidents that occurred over the last month. Teddy passed the sheet around. Pretty quiet month for the most part. There was one robbery, one breaking and entering, one auto theft, 6 larcenies, and there were 10 cars that were towed. 84 moving violations were issued, and 324 citations were issued as well. There was one arrest, only one arrest during this time period, so it was very quiet. And that's not unusual for the winter time when things kind of slow down and there's people out in the street. And there was actually a domestic violence incident that was the breaking and entering that's mentioned on that. That was in the Western incident. Actually, I'll jump right into that. So that was on 11 Charter Street, and that happened at 3 a.m. on November 15th. And in that particular case, there was a call for breaking and entering in progress at 11 Charter. Officers responded, and they could hear there was like a tussle and an argument going on in there. So it was an ex-girlfriend that broke into the apartment, and she damaged some property in there. There was a struggle. She was placed under arrest and charged with destruction of property and breaking into the apartment. So.
We have to know if the ex-girlfriend was intoxicated. That was 3 a.m. on a November 15th.
That's not mentioned in the report.
It's a weekend.
And I don't want to speculate.
Sure. Just curious.
That sometimes, yeah, alcohol might play a factor in some of these types of things. So. The one robbery that's listed on this one sheet, that was a purse snatching that happened at Salem and Cross. That happened on November 20th at 2:45 a.m. And the victim was walking home when she was approached from behind. The description was a Hispanic male wearing dark clothing. In the vehicle, the suspect grabbed her from behind and she fell to the ground, and he dragged her until she was able to let go of the purse leg. So she let go of the purse and he took off with the purse. She was not injured. And the suspect took off and ran into a parked red motor vehicle that was on Cross Street, got into the passenger seat, and the driver drove off. And inside the handbag was $40, credit cards, and that's it. The victim was able to get a possible license plate of the car, which was a New York plate, but that plate, there might have been a mix-up on the plate because the plate didn't come back to anything. However, the detectives, Lieutenant Wilson's detectives followed up on this case, and they found that one of the credit cards that was stolen was in the Walgreens, and there may be some video of the suspect using the credit card. So, we'll potentially try to put something out through the Boston Regional Intelligence Center to see if anybody can identify the suspect in that particular case. So, anything else you want to add?
Yeah, we tried variations. We do have the ability to run plates, partial plates, so you don't always need the full plate. So obviously, if you run partial plates, you get many choices. None of them matched up to the description of the motor vehicle. The person seen on video could have been the person driving the vehicle, but it was a female that was in the Walgreens, the captain said, over in Everett. But that person appeared on the video to be very aware of cameras by the way she kept her head down to the side while making her purchase. It may be very difficult at this point.
And there was one auto theft reported during this month, and that was at 190 Commercial Street, and that was a 2014 Nissan, I'm sorry, it was a 2009 Nissan Versa that was stolen. He parked the car there, he came back, and It was sometime between 9 p.m. and 5 p.m. the following day that the car was gone on 11/24 that car was stolen. And I neglected to mention, this meeting's being videotaped, so just want to let everybody know about that. Thanks, Matt. And there were 6 larcenies during this time period. I'll just cover those briefly. 42 Prince Street on November 8th at 11:45 a.m. A frog statue was stolen worth $200 from out in front of the store there. 443 Hanover Street, this was a larceny by scheme. This was a fraud where there was a woman was told, this was like an employment opportunity on the internet, and that there was a scam and was scammed out of some money. 150 North Street on 11/15, this was a larceny in a building, and a laptop, an iPad and $20 was taken. And we do have some video of that incident too, so we're following up on that particular case. And at 7 Bartlett Place on 11/21, a bicycle was stolen. It was valued at $550. It was locked up, and then the gentleman came back. This was sometime in the morning, and the lock was broken and the bicycle was taken. At 1 Wiggett Street, 11/26 at 5 p.m. This was an iPad that was taken out of, or missing from this apartment, and no sign of forced entry to the apartment. And 250 Hanover Street on December 1st at 11:15 p.m. This was at Fiore's, and the valet was parking the cars. He ran across the street to do something. He came back across the street, and the handbag was taken out of the car along with the iPod, $84, and some keys. And 75, okay, so that's it. Oh, that's it for the larcenies. And then the only other incident that we want to point out was that on November 29th at 1:45 a.m., this was at 75 Endicott Street. There was a woman was going into her apartment building, and she was approached from behind, shoved from behind by an individual in the little front foyer of her apartment. And she fell down, and the suspect, who was a 28-year-old red-headed male wearing a zip-up gray sweater, made the statement, "You are so pretty, give me a kiss, and do not tell my boyfriend." She pushed him out. She wasn't injured. You know, nothing happened to her. She's okay. The guy took off. So, you know, this was kind of, again, I don't think, he doesn't match the description of any of the past incidents that we've had. He was definitely drinking alcohol. I tend to think that this was an alcohol-related, more of an isolated incident type thing at this point in time until it happened. So, and that is all I have. Any questions or concerns? Yes, sir.
Well, I was interested to hear you say that one doesn't need a complete license plate.
Yes.
Because often hazardous cargo trucks go down Cross Street when they're not supposed to be down there. And I don't catch the whole license plate. So if I catch some of it, I should call it in?
Yeah, call it in. And then sometimes it's, the variations are hard, and the 8s look like Ds and, you know, stuff like that.
And
But
it's dirty.
And it's dirty, right, but we have pretty good luck checking the partial plates a lot of
Okay.
times, though, so.
And on the follow-up to that, I think I mentioned this either at the last meeting or the meeting before that. Even though it's going in the opposite direction, but still parallel across the street, so surface road as you're going south towards the direction of South Station. Because that's the way I walk to work. I work on Custom House Street now, right around going from State and India Streets. I'm always seeing for the last couple of months consistently, at least 3 times a week, a Boston Police Department commercial operations van parked there, and I have seen them all over some vehicles. So I think I may have pointed out in the past as well that, and I sent a photo to Matt that he put on his website at least a couple months ago. This was probably after 5 p.m. on a work day, and one of the hazmat trucks was pulled over. When I went up to the cop, I said, "Did you pull him over for?" He said, "You sure did." So hopefully we'll keep that.
Yep, that's that commercial vehicle enforcement. Very nice job. Yes, sir.
What's rampant on Hanover Street is the valet making U-turns, insane. And I can count 10 in 10 minutes, you know, especially when it's busy on the end of the street. They struck, last year, one knocked someone off a bike, that wasn't reported. But, insane. They just
Make it right at Pimento,
control.
they did by the store.
Yeah, right on that block,
In the
yeah.
intersection.
Out of control.
How about after the meeting, if you just want to, we can get the specific locations. We don't need to just say it right here, right now. And then we can just pay, we'll have the, like Roy's in the area, whoever it is, we'll have them pay some attention to that. And we can talk to them about that, so.
That happened to be an issue that came up before the council one time before, with two restaurants, I think they were looking to share one specific valet zone. And that issue came up about, you know, do you have two separate valet zones, or do you try to combine operations? And of course, the U-turn issue. I don't recall if that was brought up, if Newer voted on that. That was on your agenda at any time, but there was that one time within the last, it was a year or two, when that came up.
Rico and Fury, which was the, you know, they park cars in their designated spots to drop people off. So they're forced to do business in the street. They just don't abide by the rules, you know. They've been given many spots, you know, and then they just abuse that.
And, you know, a lot of times we just tell them, they don't know, just because it's like one of the younger kids that are just shuttling the cars around. And, you know, we have a conversation with them, and should kind of resolve that. Any other issues, concerns, or anything that we can address?
No, just the one I told you about next month. The first, this is scheduled
Yep.
meeting, and after.
So the next month, the meeting is, if we follow the normal schedule, the first Thursday of the month falls on January 1st. So if it's okay with everybody here, we're looking at reschedule for January 8th. the
No,
following-
January 8th is the newer meeting.
Second Thursday.
It's everybody
That, huh?
February.
Heck, I got it all tonight.
Oh, I like it.
I got it all tonight.
Is that right? Thank you, Nicole.
They're the all set.
But then, we're too close to the.
The 11th is new Nick, that first Monday.
The 15th is open.
The 15th is a holiday.
June
Martin
is
Luther
this
King Day.
Monday, right?
Well,
No, January.
In January, yeah.
January 11th or 12th, right? Is new Nick.
It's 5:30.
12th is the Monday, it's
So
noon.
the 12th is new Nick, and then the following
But the,
Monday is Martin Luther King.
right, but the 15th is the Thursday, it's the
Right.
third
Can we do
Thursday.
this by phone?
All right, why don't,
Email tree.
We'll figure that out.
yeah, we'll figure it out, and then Teddy will send something around. We'll make sure we get it out, and then Phil and Matt can help us spread the word as well. So that'll be
Okay.
good on that. I only have one other announcement, and that is on December 11th at Filippo's. Teddy Boyle, this is at Teddy Thomas Sony's event. Teddy is being honored. Uncle Freddie Carangelo Award, and that's at Newtown, we'll be there, and if anybody's interested. I saw a big ad in the paper too, which is great, that South End paper.
Well, that's not the NEAA event, that's next week. This
No,
is
that's not the men's night, that's the town lunch.
the lunch on Tuesday.
Right, then Thursday is the lunch.
Thursday for lunch.
Thursday's lunch,
Yeah, Tuesday is the supper.
Teddy's on the Tuesday.
No one has heard of any issue, anything recurring, I mean, other than what we already know that we discuss a lot of times, the loud party issues, the quality of life issues. Any other specific incident or incidents, whether you think it's isolated or not? Anyone could think of, especially since the last meeting, for instance?
Good to hear. You're on the,
I have to say, it hasn't been too bad.
Mark would know, he's definitely eyes and ears. Different hours.
we got guys out here always, you know, looking for stuff, you know, so, and plus the cold weather
Yeah.
helps tamp things down a little bit, the windows are shut, so. And an officer, Jenna Cullity, who's the walking officer, she is still out. She's hoping that she does not need surgery on her knee, so we're wishing and sending her the best. So in the meantime, we're just using other guys to plug in, but it's been pretty good. We haven't had many issues, so.
Is it the same guy or guys that we're trying, or is it?
We're trying, we're rotating, and actually we have some new officers in the district that are recruits, so they're brand new, So this is good. We're rotating some of them, we're giving them some experience, and to get to know the neighborhood down here as well.
There's a guy, a quick, when the mayor went to see the president about the city of Boston Police got accolades of A1 comments, there's plenty of them. So that's a
Thank you.
tribute to you guys. Thank you.
Yeah, we had a large protest last Tuesday, and the protesters were just trying to get on Dewey Square and stop traffic, so, you know, there was a little pushing and shoving, but there were a couple of arrests, but overall it went well. And there's another protest tonight over at the Boston Commons, so we're gonna shoot up there after this.
Well, it's nice to see that the presidential staff said that other cities and towns should visit Boston and see how you do it.
Well, we'll see what happens now, they'll get tested, you guys will get tested.
I don't wanna speak too soon, the night is young.
I'm saying from here on in, you know.
I have one more question. How much did Teddy pay to get that award?
Teddy?
Yeah. Christine said that in the office.
Rich, anything going on your end? Suffolk students?
It's very, very quiet. Cold weather's coming.
I figured it.
When do they leave town? When are they on vacation?
Final exams begin Monday. The last final exam is December 12th. The dormitories are closing that Saturday morning, I believe at 10 a.m. And they won't reopen until mid-January, but I don't have the official move-in date yet. But it's been a pretty good semester.
Should be a quiet lunch.
Hopefully things are turning around. My area's only from Hyman to Cooper, that's all I get, something else. I don't know what's going on there.
All right, so we'll definitely spread the word once we reschedule next month's meeting. Hopefully it will still be on a Thursday, it's just a matter of confirming it.
All right,
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, everybody.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays to everybody.
Happy holidays.